is a god. He also is prospering and failing.
Precisely.
So he doesn't care about us.
So it's
He's
cool.
got his own shit to worry about.
Yeah. And people just shut the podcast
Yeah.
off. You were shopping.
Yeah.
Anywhere interesting?
To the Wall of Mars.
The Wall of Mars.
Yeah.
That place is weird.
It is. You can buy pretty much anything there. I still cannot help myself every time I go past, like, because when you go there with a woman, they only go to one part of that store.
Yeah.
Because the women's clothes are like along the cashier thing, so you walk along that.
It's very like, I feel, and I'm going to say this with the utmost respect to Walmart because it's an awesome place, but I feel like they set up their stores kind of sexistly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you notice, like, all the dude stuff
Back
is
corner.
all the way in the back corner, and that's saying, because, I mean, that's fine. And I'm not meaning that, like, we have to work, but all of the stuff for women is right up front, near the near the register. So,
Yeah.
like,
The jewelry counter.
the jewelry counter's
facing
yeah, exactly. So you're, like, looking at cashing out, and then you're, oh, pretty stuff. Like, that's, to me, that's like, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So, like, when we go shopping, it's like we go down that way because that's where all the food is.
Right.
On this side. So we like go down, there's the clothes, you're like looking at, and we gotta go shopping now. And I'm just like, I can't even like nonchalantly just go, oh, look what I saw. And you know, like she does sometimes where it's like, oh,
there's that.
yeah.
I don't think.
We don't get to like just like if I get her to go over there, I have to purposely say let's go over there, and she's already thinking I'm not buying you nothing. Like, she already knows like that's where the knives and stuff are.
That's where all the shit you can hurt things with are. Luckily, we have ladies that care about our well-being most of the time. and enjoy. But that's not. We're not. Again, now we've culled away the people that shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we're not sexist pigs or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're actually dudes that like to make stuff and love everybody.
But we're
for the most part.
not sexist.
If it's funny, then sure, let's do it. But so actually, Walmart is a good place. That's a good segue for this because not a lot of places around the United States have. I mean, Walmart's a multinational corporation. I think there's Walmarts.
Yeah.
You have Walmarts in England.
We have Asda.
Okay, which is
owned by Walmart.
Right.
But it's weird because they hide the Walmart owned by Walmart like near where the trucks got in, so we never see that. But I spotted it one day and I was like, shit, no way.
So they're a multinational company and everything, and a lot of people don't know where there are places to get stuff like this. Like you don't have to go and to some supply place or a place that's even that even sells art stuff to get stuff to make things.
Or like to get a good deal buy like 3,000 sheets of eBay foam from Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you go and there are a lot of cool like LEDs are a great thing to buy online.
Yeah.
Because there's two sides to everything. Like you don't go and buy electronics from a store, but you can definitely buy like raw materials because a lot of time you don't need 50 of something.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like especially in the way we make stuff. What, Dexter? Did you threw your ball back there? I'll get it in a minute. It's my dog. But a lot of times you don't need 500 of something, especially if you're making in your house. Now, if you're cranking out stuff and you're making things for a huge amount of people or you have orders to fill, obviously you're going to have a different outlook on buying materials. But in most cases, you need like this. You just need that. Like even in the state that it's in right now, like this piece of foam core, you can make a lot of shit out of.
Yeah.
And you can find that in a dumpster. If you go to say like an art store like Michael's or something, and go look in their dumpster from their matting department, you'll find all kinds of shit like this.
Oh yeah.
But Walmart is a cool place to, like, if you're in a pinch on a Sunday
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
It's just convenient, and that's an interesting thing about places like that.
You know, like we did, if you find out about this stuff and you cannot help yourself, you're like fiending, like I've just watched somebody do this.
You can't wait a week
Yeah.
to order what you need.
Then
Walmart is a great place to at least find some of your maker supplies. But and the reason that we're obsessed with you'll see stockpiles of this shit in different states of being used.
Yep.
Is the fact that props are expensive.
They are expensive.
Like, we were talking about this earlier, and we decided to not talk about it further and actually put it on the podcast. 'Cause this is a thing. Like, props, how popular that market has gotten. Props and, like, movie stuff, there's a huge price tag on a lot of it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I feel like I've spent like days of my life where I'm like watching a movie, so like just for like let's say a Batman costume, and I'm watching the movie and I'm like, why don't I ever see that costume?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, so you look and you start off in like a costume website, and the best one they have is still not.
It's still like
that great, and it's like $400
like
or
like plastic and
yeah, and
thin plastic.
So then you're like, oh, okay, so you go Amazon, maybe they have something, you know, like, or eBay, maybe that. And then you'll find like the like resin, like cowls and stuff, but again, like they're shot from angles where it looks like wonky and warped and.
Yeah, it's like they used a cat, like a buck from a vacuum form, like one of the very late castings of it.
Yeah. And
it sort of kind of looks like Batman.
Yeah,
a little
like
bit.
you put it on and from 30 feet you're Batman.
Yeah,
But like
exactly.
any closer and you're like
Exactly.
a very sinister rabbit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's incredible.
you know. But yeah, you start doing that and
Rat
then,
Man.
yeah. but you find like, then you find these websites that do sell this stuff. And by then you're in like a 24-hour hole that you've fallen into.
Yeah.
You're like,
at the least.
you started off with, I have $50 to spend, and now you're looking at stuff that's thousands of dollars, and you're still lying to yourself, like, wow, like, yeah, that one's nice, but do you know what, the one that's 10,000 is nicer, so I'd probably get that one with all the money I don't have.
Yeah,
like,
with all of this imaginary money that I'm
Yeah.
gonna get some from some Nigerian prince on the
but
internet.
you end up like reasoning with yourself about shit that you can't buy. You're like,
exactly. And I think one thing that I want people to know is looking at all that stuff is awesome because it's in a lot of cases it's fantastic reference.
yeah,
It's great reference. It's like this really, really cool thing that someone built that you can look at, and from that you can design your own.
and
Like we did that. We're looking to do that with a lot of different things.
well, yeah. I think it's also like you look at it in one way, like you feel like excluded from it because of the price tag, but at the same time, like you said, you can take from it, and that's a successful make. Whoever made that is doing very well for themselves.
Yeah.
They're selling, you know, they're probably not selling a lot of them, but what they do sell, like that's
Yeah, they're living quite. If they sell 6 one-off $10,000 or $5,000 Batman uniforms, like full on,
Yeah.
you're fine.
And
you're doing great.
yeah, it's good to know. I like knowing that there's a guy out there who that's his job. Like it's just cool to know that, like that in this world where it's like at times you sort of forget about all of that stuff and you're thinking about money and all that, but there's people out there whose jobs it is to make.
I mean, there's a dude that his job is to make gigantic swords.
Yes,
Like,
that guy is
that
awesome.
guy-
That is a brilliant.
That we're gonna talk a lot about that guy in the future once we do a few of these shows on weaponry. We'll reference Irish Mike quite a few times.
Yeah, his videos, like they just get you hooked, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're not short either, which I really like, because
they're really well done too.
Yeah, they are. They're edited really well, and he takes you from like beginning to end, and he does show you the slower processes when he starts, but then once he's finished explaining it, then it will sort of speed up. And you get to watch
the time
it
lapses
happen.
and everything.
And watching something like that happen before your eyes is amazing.
Yeah,
like
it's really, really inspiring in a lot of for anything that you look at him doing. He'll take a piece of sheet steel and what seems like a day, which is really probably a week or even longer.
Yeah.
You get a Buster Sword or something, or
or
a Pyramid Head costume.
Oh my god,
which was the coolest damn video ever.
It was. That video is like, you know, you can watch it a billion times and it's just as satisfying. I love his process though, and I think that's the same with with making stuff. Is that he knows what he's doing with his art and his like trade. He knows welding like no other person probably. He knows what specific to what he's doing. Yeah, he knows everything about what he does, and you'll watch him and you convince yourself like, I could do this, because he's doing it in ways where he's so used to doing it now. He's literally got like a paper template on a piece of sheet, carbon steel, and he's just got a piece of chalk. And that just, to me, watching it, it's like, oh, I could do that, because that's not very accurate. But then you watch him like plasma cut it, and,
by hand.
You know, and it's like, and it's like, the dude is no joke.
There's no jigs involved or anything. There's no machine. He's literally.
It's incredible.
Just right like here,
like
doing it nice and slow and perfectly straight.
Some of the 3-dimensional stuff he does, as far as like, I forget what sword it was that he was making, but I think it was a World of Warcraft one. That might be really wrong, so I get people correcting us, but like, had like a demon's face in the top of the handle.
Oh.
And
I haven't seen that one.
He draws it in what at first appears to be like a half decent Sharpie drawing of what resembles something like a demon.
Yeah.
Until he starts going in there with a grinder and like taking these shapes out, and by the end of it you're like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, he essentially did what sculptors used to do with stone.
Yeah.
With a piece of carbon steel.
Grinder and steel.
Yeah, and it's incredible.
That's, I mean, these are, like, we're coming from the part of, the generational part of the internet where all of these things are available.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can go online, YouTube, or even like Google. If you Google it, there's usually a video out there of someone doing the thing that you want.
Yeah.
And I remember when that when that wasn't there. Like, you know, you look at something, you're like, okay, I can't. There's no, and you get like this discouragement in the younger years. Like, I can't build that. I can't do that. Like, there's not enough of that in when you're younger and you start collecting these things and you start obtaining, like, oh, I got that for Christmas, and I got these different things, and you never even think that that's a job.
Yeah, no, it's
like
just...
your parents bought you, for whatever reason, like a replica sword or something when you're like 10.
Yeah.
And it's cool, and like you hang it on the wall and you take it down when they're not home. You go out back and you cut watermelons or whatever in half with it.
Christ, yeah.
Like, if something my friends and I used to do, like when you get those swords from those places, they're super crazy sharp. You never use them to fight because they break.
Yeah.
But you can definitely cut the living hell out of yourself if you're not careful. And like, we used to fill up gallon jugs and just eviscerate them.
Yeah.
Just cut them in half. And you never realize that that's someone's job to make that. Like, I feel like kids should really realize, and they can do it now, that, holy crap, like, I collect A, and I can get a job at some point in my life if I figure out how this is done. I can make this, and that's like
which is what like, when you're asked what you want to do when you grow up, or like what even now, like
Yeah.
someone, you know, like it doesn't matter. You never like fully get to that place. It's always like a theoretical thing more than that. Like when I'm older, I want to be. That's an easy way of putting it.
Yeah.
There's always an older than you are now.
Yeah,
So,
there's
like,
always, yeah. Well, you could be 50, and like when I'm older,
yeah,
I'm
and
gonna get on this.
and you're just like, that's the best thing to do. Is like you said, like, you know, you collect something, and then you realize that what would be the best thing to add to your collection after so many years would be this thing that you love so much, something that you have made. Like,
Exactly.
you know, and see where that takes you.
Yeah. So like, now that we're on the topic, what were the things that you saw when you were a kid that you were like, holy shit, I need that?
I really loved. One thing was like, I used to always have this thing, you know, like you watch like Transformers, robots and stuff, Star Wars, the AT-AT.
Yeah,
And
that
like,
walker.
you know, like I used to have that toy, and it was just used to amaze me. And I would just have loved, maybe not a full scale,
No,
but
God.
like something like taller than I was.
Like 1/12 or something
know,
like
like-
that. Like it's the size of a
Just like,
car.
I'm just sat there as a kid playing with this, and it's like, why didn't they make this bigger? Like,
Why can't I get inside?
yeah,
it?
if I could just sit in it at all, this
Yeah.
would just be brilliant. Like, but that whole thing of as a kid being that young, and then like there's that one thing that parents always say is like, you know, you buy them all this stuff on Christmas, and they spend more time playing with the boxes. And I
Yeah.
think it's because like even now, like I work in places now where I see an abundance of empty boxes stacked ready to get squashed.
Yeah.
And I still always look and be like, I could make
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. Like, I just chuck a couple of these different size boxes on, and I
We
could be
should-
Optimus Prime.
we
Right
should
now.
get-
like,
We should see, like, go to an industrial park somewhere and see if we can't get, like, an unreasonable amount of refrigerator boxes and make an AT-AT walker.
oh my god, yeah. That would just
Because
be
we
great.
could do that. Corrugated cardboard is the gateway drug to making absolutely anything.
Oh Jesus.
I was a horror nut when I was a kid, so I was always obsessed with the like weapons and the masks and the the scarier shit that other kids weren't really into. Like I came to school when I was 11 dressed as Jason Voorhees. And like it was a full-on Voorhees costume with a fake machete and a bloody mask, and everyone else is like, you know, this is almost 20 years ago, so it's like everyone else is like Toy Story but like Buzz Lightyear. Like everyone's like Buzz Lightyear or a Power Ranger or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's cool, like it was awesome, don't get me wrong,
Dude.
to see that stuff. But I felt like I was the badass. Like I felt like I even though my costume sucked at I just had a mask and dirty clothes on, and all these other kids had like the full on like masks and the shoulder pads. I'm like, oh, I can kill you.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I
Like
always thought that was like I've always been attracted to that side of the making and collecting and everything like that. Like I love I've always been inspired by the darker side of making stuff.
Yeah, it's I don't know, I find with like stuff that I actually used to like collect as a kid was I started collecting knives and swords quite young. I remember like when I first started having these ideas of making things, it was we were throwing away one of my old bed frames, and they had those like, you know, where the headboard slat that like split like this and it sits on top of the frame.
Yeah.
And we had those two parts, and I was like holding it, and my hands at that point were small enough where I could hold it in between
Yeah.
one of those. And so my brother had like not an angle grind, like a sander, and I basically drew onto this thing what I wanted it to look like.
Yeah.
He cut it and then sanded it to appear like a.
Yeah.
It was the best thing. I think I still have it back
It
home
had
in
like a
England,
whoosh to it and
yeah.
weight, like
yeah.
man,
And I was
that's
just
awesome.
swinging it around and no one could say anything because it's made of wood.
Yeah.
Although that took me, I think it was like a couple years after that, I was laying in bed and I was like, dude, I really want to make like a suit of armor legit. Like I was convinced like I'm gonna be a goddamn superhero, like ninja fighting for justice or whatever. So I'm like, I need some armor for all the bad things that happen in this middle of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I got these, they were like little film reels. So, you know, like what movies used to come in?
Yeah,
like when
like
they
8mm. Yeah.
yeah, it's like the tins that they would come in.
Yeah.
But they weren't real. It was like aluminum, like copies. And for some reason, I forget what they were for. I think it was like a beer giveaway thing. It used to have a DVD in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a ton of them. And so I went into the back garden and I was just hammering it flat to try and make it resemble
like plates.
plate. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, this is gonna work. And then I was like, well, now I have that. And I literally like, because you don't want it to be visible, especially like superheroes don't have that armor visible. So I was like, taped it to myself.
Scotch taped it to
Yeah,
yourself.
to my skin. And I put my t-shirt over it, and I was like, "Yeah, that would totally stop a bullet.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm invincible now.
no one's gonna stab me." I'm like, and we had, you know, the like counters in the kitchen, those hollow metal bars that you have that hold up for support. We had like some of them in the shed, and one of them was gold, and I always remembered Hook. You know, Rufio's the pan sword with the gold blade.
Yeah.
And that used to be my favorite movie, so I was like, I could totally make that. So I've got this thing that is cylindrically and hollow, and I took a hammer and just failed for 3 hours to try and smash it flat against itself. And it just never happened. It was making so much noise as well. And I think I was doing it on grass because we didn't have concrete. So like the earth is literally working against me to make this into anything that would resemble a sword.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we got a few minutes here. What, you have any ideas of projects that we want to do that will disseminate to the public here that to see if they'll continue watching, maybe to find some cool shit.
Yeah, we had some ideas in. Do you mind if I just run through some ideas that we've been talking about?
Yeah, if they're in here.
I really did like the idea of similar to like Hulk hands, like a Hellboy fist.
Yes.
Yeah, like a wearable, like not like it looks in the
hand
movie.
of the hand of doom. Yes.
And then you elaborated on that with
to actually articulated.
which would be really cool because like we both are fans of like Jim Henson and like the, you know, that sort of stuff. And it's a very small scale to what he does, but like still it's a like dipping your toe into that. Like I'd love to have a go at it.
I would love to. Go away. We got it. We understand. We're out of time. But
we have a little time.
We have a little time. A little bit of time. I want desperately to do the RoboCop thing.
Yeah. Oh my god.
even if it's just like the gun or the top, like a bust of RoboCop.
If this is what we'll do, right? One of us should concentrate, or like we'll both work on it. One should we'll do like a cop special where we'll do like RoboCop and Judge Dredd.
Yes.
And we'll make both those helmets.
That's perfect.
Because I'm sure if we can get like a motorcycle helmet, we can like somehow find a way of making the visor and cutting it to Judge Dredd's.
Yes.
Oh, and then it would work for RoboCop as well, whatever we have left.
Precisely.
Oh yeah, no. That's
right on. Well, if you have suggestions, let us know. And we'll see you next time.